Hi all, welcome to i-tutor Academy. In today's session, we will start with Unit 10, subsection 5, that is work study applications, and is Mmpc 009. Okay, work study technique can be applied in a large number of situations. They are not necessarily confined to manufacturing the shop floor level, and work study could be applied in office situation, in which case the technique is more popularly known as O&M, that is organization and methods. And work study could be applied in the building industry. In fact, the Frank Gilbert developed his idea on time and motion study in a construction situation. Quite often, repetitive work is to be found on one site. And example, laying precast concrete floor unit, etc. Work study, particularly a method study, has in such case been found to be very beneficial. And again, we could utilize work study in the context of agriculture, which remain largely non-mechanized in our country. Saving in time and effort of farmers can be used to increase their effectiveness and efficiency. And identification and elimination of fatiguing and costly or unproductive activity could be undertaken. And work study could be used in a hospital setting also. And work study groups can achieve great success in the nursing pattern and staffing, ward design, and hospital layout improvement in services such as catering, laundry work, domestic cleaning, typing, secretarial work, and documentation, etc. And in some countries abroad, work study has been used in national and local government services for maintenance of parks, playing fields, housing schemes, street cleaning, rubbish collection and disposal, and post office store sorting, etc. And it can also be used in defense service both for repair and logistic function, etc. And work study can also be used in hotel management for housekeeping, linen service, kitchen work, reception preparation, cooking, and saving of food, etc. And work study personnel could also prove to be beneficial if they are included in design teams, which require an interdisciplinary approach for greater effectiveness. Accordingly, work study people, along with the value analysis analyst, would certainly increase design worthiness. Okay. And next is introduction to job design. What is job design? Job design is the consciously planned structuring of work effort performed by the individual or a team of person. And a good job design must answer to job related questions such as what work is to be performed, who is to perform the work, where the work is to be done, and when the work is to be done, why the job is necessary, and how should the work be accomplished. And job designers usually attempt to minimize the amount of physical human effort. And for organization purpose, we divide job design into two basic elements: a human element and a work element. Okay. And physiological, social, and psychological consideration are important human factor relating to job design. And the work element has been considered in detail in the we discussed in previous unit, and please refer that video. And we shall however include some irrelevant point that we had deliberately left out while discussing the work design. And the objective of job design is therefore to develop work assignment that meet the requirement of the organization and the technology, and at the same time also satisfy the personal and individual requirements of the job holder. And the smallest work activities involve various element movement called Terblick, that is Gilbert spelled backward. Okay, so this spelled backward, that is Terblicks. And example, reach, grasp, position, release, search, select, transport, empty, like that. These are the examples for that. And degree of labor specialization of labor is to two-edged sword of job design. And on the one hand, it has made possible high speed and low cost production, and that therefore increase our standard of living. On the other hand, extreme specialization could lead to adverse effect on the worker, the like boredom, etc. And the advantages of specialization management are the following. rapid training of the workforce, and ease in recruiting new works, and high output due to simple and repetitive work, and low wages due to ease of substitutability of labor, and close control over workflow and workloads. As for labor, there is little responsibility for output, little mental effort is required, and little or no education is required to obtain work. And there seem to be some disadvantages also. The management may face difficulty in controlling quality, since no one person has responsible for the entire product. Moreover, there could be hidden cost of worker satisfaction arising from turnover, absenteeism, and trading grievances, and intentional disruption of production policy process. And disadvantages to labor could be and boredom stemming from repetitive nature of work, and little gratification from the work itself because of small contribution to each item, and little or no control over the work pace, leading to frustration and fatigue, and little opportunity to progress to a better job, since significant learning is hardly possible on fractionated or partial work, and little opportunity to show initiative through developing better methods or tools, and local muscular fatigue due to use of the same muscles in performing the task, and little opportunity for communication with the fellow workers due to layout of work area. As can be seen from the above discussion, the disadvantage of specialization seems to outweigh the disadvantage. Because of this, researchers has have come up with the alternative approach to job design. We now hear of human engineering, agronomics, work physiology, and job enlargement, job enrichment, job rotation, and flex teacher, and socio-technical system approach, etc. And ergonomics, human hunting or human engineering, and hunan engineering, okay, that is agronomics. Every industry system consists of some or all of the following components: that is hardware, the physical aspect; software, that is non-physical aspect; and the physical environment and the organization. And objective of the designer is to arrange these components to give a harmonious and efficient operation. An objective of ergonomics is to match or provide the information to match and the various other part of the system to characteristics and abilities of people involved in it. By utilizing ergonomics, the designer's opportunity to create a system which reliably achieve its function are improved. Ergonomics is somewhat synonymous with the human factors, with engineering, which is a field of study concerned with the ability and limitation of human being in the design of tools, instrument, and workplaces. And let us first discuss the job design by elaborating on the design, environmental and organizational factors, and these can be subsequently complemented by behavioral dimension and the need for adopting a socio-technical approach. So next we will discuss design factors, that is technical factor. First of all, layout of equipment and seating. Ideally, the equipment design should start with the operators. Often, the piece of equipment is first designed and the operator is added as a kind of afterthought, who has to cope with the unsatisfactory arrangements of display and control as best as he can. And quite often, it is assumed that because a machine has always been the way it is, there is no good reason to change it. And the attitude is on one of what was good for our grandfather is good enough for us, and the effect of tradition acting in this way is the rule rather than an exception. And this many equipment, though inconvenient, undergo no change for ages owing to this attitude. And in some machines, for example, control may come in a comfortable position for the hand, but the work might be too far away from the eye, and as a result, the operator has to operate in a bent posture while working on, say, center lathes. And why not think of a title center lathe so that the operator can see without stopping? And vision of all type of crane caps was bad, and redesigned crane caps now provide unrestricted vision that place much less strain on the driver, thereby increasing his efficiency. And for good design, the designer ought to start out with the operator by laying out the areas for vision, for controls, for sitting, and for leg room, etc. by taking note of standard anthropometric data of men and women, as the case may be. And job design should consider whether the job is to be done standing or sitting, or in both the ways. You would probably observe that people leave their workplace after regular intervals in order to obtain a change of posture. It is not very surprising to note that workers find it necessary to stand up from time to time, probably because the seats provided are too uncomfortable to be sat upon for more than a limited period. And it is a requirement of good seating that the person while sitting should be able to maintain a good posture, which will not cause overstrain of any particular group of muscles. And the use of well designed and positioned backrest may relieve the back muscle of a good deal of postural strain. And moreover, the seat should not press unduly on the tissue of buttocks, and the pressure will restrict the blood flow, which may cause pressure on the nerve trunk, and which run on the underside of the high thigh, and will cause discomfort, which could also sometimes cause the need to go to sleep and induce numbness. And a well designed seat should therefore bear the weight of the body in a good posture on the hip and not on the thighs. So the element of good seating will depend on the length, width, and shape of the seat, and material of which the seat is made, the shape and height of the backrest, and the height of the seat above the floor. When high chairs are used at workbenches, there will have to be some type of footrest, which should preferably be a flat surface rather than a bar, which causes fatigue by forcing the operator to keep the foot in a fixed position. Sometimes it may be useful to provide some standing support over a rum rest. In contrast to the work situation, seats which will be used for relaxation can he somewhat lower than office and factory chairs. Okay. On the contrary, there were a quite few advantage in working at a floor level. So this is popular amongst workers of many categories such as cobblers, tailors, etc. And in case of control, information should preferably be given to the operators in a binary form of yes no type. Okay. An alternative lights like green red can be also used, where the quantitative information has to be given. Digital presentation should be used in preference to the reading of graduated scale. And important control panel instruments should have preferably a combination of auditory and visual warning signal scheme. And care should be taken to see the visual warning should be quite evident and not misleading. Next is instrument display design. And we can think of display as any device or a event which give information about a situation which is occurring or has occurred, and where this information cannot be obtained by seeing or hearing directly. And we might have to resort to the use of instruments like a pressure gauge, for instance, which reveal the condition of a piece of equipment, or instrumental display, which could be primarily auditory or visual type. And visual dial display could have a graduated scale on which the indication of a value is given by means of a pointer. And there could be off on light known as indicators, and warning devices, and numerically displayed information counters. Okay, so these are you just go through your study materials. And next is compatibility. Now you will notice that there are quite few natural movement. One usually turn a knob in a clockwise rotary direction or from left to right, so as to switch on the instrument or equipment. Such a natural movement need to be kept in mind while designing instrument knobs. Learning time for the operation of equipment on which control are compatible with the natural movements are much shorter than if the control are incompatible, and there will be greater risk of accidents in case of incompatibility, and performance deteriorates on equipment with the incompatible control movement. And while designing the control knob, either have all of them compatible or all of them incompatible with the natural movements. Where controls are associated with the dials in a panel, the dials and controls should be laid out with the same spatial relationship, and the left hand dial should be operated by the left hand controls, and so on. So it is also important to know the preferred hand of an operator. And next is control design characteristics, and some of the control machines and their utilities are here. Then one is crank. Is a control in which handle is offset from the parallel to the shaft, and hand wheel is there. It's a circular control gripped by the rim, preferably with both hands. Knob is a rotary control that can be operated freely by gripping it on both sides with the fingers on one hand. Lever is a hand operated rod like control working in one dimension about the fulcrum, and toggle switches are a miniature levers used as a selector switches, and joystick is a lever working in two dimensions. Rotary lever and a pedal hand grip. A pedal is there, a rubber ruler bar is there, and a push button is there. So these are the control machines and their utilities. Okay, you just once read this section from your IGNO study material MMBC 009 unit 10 and subsection 7. Okay, so this is all about today's section. In between any doubts, you can contact us anytime. For more videos, you just do like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you so much.
i-tutor Academy presents IGNOU MBA complete syllabus coverage classes for individual students, semester-wise subject with online and flexible timing. For more details, contact on +916 238 217 885.